In the heart of Zimbabwe, nestled between the towering mopane trees, lay the village of Kanyemba. The village was known for its vibrant colors, rich traditions, and the stories that echoed through its evenings. The villagers, with their bright African attire and cheerful songs, lived a simple but happy life. Among them was a young woman named Maita. Maita was known for her beauty, with skin like polished ebony and eyes that sparkled like the stars in the sky. One night, Maita had a dream. She saw herself standing at the edge of a great forest, the trees whispering secrets to her. A voice called out her name, Maita, Maita, come and find the truth. She woke up with a start, her heart pounding. What could this dream mean? She decided to visit the village elder, Amai Muchenje, who was known for her wisdom and knowledge of the spirits. Maita walked to Amai Muchenje's house, her feet stirring the red earth beneath her. Amai Muchenje was sitting outside, weaving a basket. Her face was lined with age. She broke into a smile when she saw Maita. What brings you here, my child? Maita explained her dream, and Amai Muchenje listened carefully. The spirits are trying to tell you something, she said. You must go to the forest and find the source of this call. With Amai Muchenje's words echoing in her mind, Maita made the bold decision to go into the forest. As she prepared for her journey, she packed some food, water, and took a small knife for protection. Her mother, Kombo, and her younger brother, Chenjerai, were worried but knew that Maita had to go. Be careful, my sister, Chenjerai said, his young face serious. Maita hugged them tightly and set off towards the forest, her heart full of determination. The forest was dense and alive with sounds. The birds chirped, monkeys chattered, and the wind whispered through the trees. Maita walked cautiously, her senses alert. The deeper she went, the darker it became, with only slivers of sunlight piercing through the thick canopy. She remembered Amai Muchenje's advice and stayed on the path, not letting fear take over. After hours of walking, Maita came upon a clearing. In the center was a large rock, smooth and shiny like it had been polished by many hands. On the rock sat an old man, his hair white as snow, and his eyes bright with wisdom. Welcome, Maita, he said in a deep, gentle voice. I have been waiting for you. Maita felt a mix of fear and curiosity as she approached him. The old man introduced himself as Baba Howe. He told Maita that he was the guardian of the forest and that her dream was a message from the ancestors. You must uncover the truth hidden in the shadows, he said. But to do this, you need to be brave and wise. He handed Maita a small carved wooden amulet. This will guide you, he said. With the amulet in hand, Maita continued her journey. She soon encountered her first trial. It was a river, wide and swift, and it blocked her path. There was no bridge, only slippery stones that could barely be seen under the rushing water. Remembering Baba Hoye's words, Maita took a deep breath, focused on the amulet, and began to carefully cross the river. As Maita stepped on the first stone, she felt a surge of confidence. She moved carefully, stone by stone, with the river's roar filling her ears. Halfway across, she slipped, but the amulet glowed, and she regained her balance. With renewed determination, she made it to the other side, feeling a sense of accomplishment and relief. On the other side of the river, Maita found herself in a strange village. The houses were made of clay and leaves, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of incense. The villagers, who seemed to be spirits, welcomed her warmly. They told her that she had passed the first test and offered her food and rest. Maita was grateful, and she spent the night in the village, gathering strength for the next part of her journey. In the morning, a wise woman named Asha came to Maita. Asha had eyes that seemed to see into Maita's soul. "You have done well, my child," she said, "but your journey is far from over. You must go over to the mountain of shadows and face the truth that is hidden there." Asha gave Maita a pouch of herbs for protection and guidance. "Use these wisely," she said. Maita left the village of spirits and journeyed towards the mountain of shadows. The path was steep and treacherous, with jagged rocks and thorny bushes. The mountain loomed ominously in the distance, shrouded in mist. Maita felt a chill run down her spine, but she pressed on, determined to uncover the truth. As Maita climbed higher, she came across a dark cave. From within, she could hear echoes of voices. Some were whispering and some were shouting. She knew she had to enter the cave. The cave was cold and damp, and the voices seemed to grow louder as she ventured deeper. She held the amulet tightly, feeling its warmth against her skin. Inside the cave, Maita was confronted by shadowy figures. These figures represented her deepest fears and doubts. They taunted her, trying to break her spirit. But Maita remembered the wise words of her Maimuchenje and Baba Hove. She closed her eyes, focused on the amulet, and faced the shadows head-on, refusing to let them control her. As Maita faced the shadows, they began to dissipate, revealing a hidden chamber at the back of the cave. In the chamber, she found an ancient scroll. The scroll contained the history of her ancestors and the truth about her village. It told her of a great betrayal and a hidden treasure that could bring prosperity back to Kanyemba. Maita knew that she had to take this knowledge back to her people. With the scroll in hand, Maita began her journey back to Kanyemba. The path seemed less treacherous and the forest less foreboding. She felt a sense of purpose and strength that she had never known before. As she crossed the river again, she did so with ease, feeling the spirits of her ancestors guiding her steps. When Maita returned to Kanyemba, the villagers greeted her with joy and relief. She told them of her journey, the trials she had faced, and the truth she had uncovered. The villagers listened in awe, their hearts filled with hope. They knew that with the knowledge Maita had brought back, they could reclaim their prosperity and honor their ancestors. The village elders decided to perform a ritual to honor the ancestors and seek their guidance in using the knowledge from the scroll. They prepared an altar with offerings of fruit, grains, and flowers. Maita was at the center of the preparations, feeling a deep connection to her heritage and the spirits of her ancestors. On the night of the ritual, the villagers gathered around the altar, singing and dancing to the rhythm of the drums. Amai Muchenje led the ceremony, chanting ancient prayers. Maita felt the presence of her ancestors as she placed the scroll on the altar. A warm, glowing light enveloped the village, a sign that the ancestors were pleased. As the light faded, Amaimuchenji announced that the ancestors had blessed their village. The scroll revealed the location of the hidden treasure, and the villagers were overjoyed. They knew that with this treasure, they could rebuild their village and ensure a prosperous future for generations to come. Guided by the scroll, Maita and a group of villagers set out to find the hidden treasure. They journeyed to a secluded part of the forest where they discovered a cave filled with gold, jewels, and ancient artifacts. The villagers were amazed at the wealth before them, and they knew it would change their lives forever. With the treasure, the villagers began to rebuild Kanyemba. They constructed new homes, improved their farming techniques, and established schools for their children. The village thrived, and the people were happier than ever. Maita was celebrated as a hero, and her journey became a legend told to every child in Kanyemba. Years passed, and Kanyemba became a beacon of prosperity and harmony. The villagers never forgot the lessons of their ancestors and continued to honor them with rituals and ceremonies. Maita, now a respected elder, watched as her village flourished. She knew that the truth she had uncovered would continue to guide Kanyemba for generations. To celebrate their prosperity and honor the ancestors, the villagers of Kanyemba held an annual festival of light. Lanterns were lit, dances performed, and stories were told. Maita shared her journey with the younger generation, inspiring them to be brave and seek the truth. The festival was a reminder of their unity and the power of their heritage. As Maita grew older, she knew it was time to pass on her knowledge to the next generation. She chose a young girl named Amara, who reminded her of herself. Maita taught Amara the ways of their ancestors, the importance of truth, and the courage to face challenges. Amara listened eagerly, ready to continue the legacy. Amara grew into a wise and courageous young woman. She continued to honor the ancestors and guide the village. Under her leadership, Kanyemba remained prosperous and united. The villagers respected her, and she often sought Maita's counsel. The bond between them was strong, and the legacy of truth and bravery lived on. As Maita's time on earth came to an end, she felt at peace. She knew she had fulfilled her purpose. Surrounded by her loved ones, she shared her final words of wisdom and bid them farewell. The villagers mourned her passing, but celebrated her life and the legacy she had left behind. In memory of Maita, the villagers built a monument in her honor. It stood at the center of Kanyemba, a symbol of her bravery and the truth she had uncovered. Every year, they held a ceremony to celebrate her life and the prosperity she had brought to the village. Maita's spirit remained a guiding light for Kanyemba. The story of Maita became a cornerstone of Kanyemba's culture. Parents told their children about the journey and the trials she had faced, and the importance of seeking the truth. The village thrived on the wisdom of the ancestors, and the spirit of unity and courage was passed down through the generations. Years turned into decades, and Kanyemba remained a symbol of prosperity and unity. The legacy of Maita lived on, an eternal light guiding the village. The spirit of the ancestors and the bravery of one woman ensured that Kanyemba would always thrive, rooted in truth and harmony. And so, the village of Kanyemba continued to shine, a beacon of hope and wisdom in the heart of Africa.